This is the story of the world's greatest salesman of all time. If you haven't heard of him, his name is Joe Girard, Girard. Joe Girard worked in the automotive industry in the 60s and 70s. In his career, he sold, get this, 13,000 cars. And it's not the total that matters. It was how many he sold in a given amount of time. So to give you perspective, a typical salesperson in a market like his that would have a family, like a family of four, could support their family comfortably selling between 3 and 4 cars a month, which was the average, between 3 and 4 a month. Joe, in his history, sold an average of 3 and change, in that same range, 3 to 4 a month, every day for his career. So literally, if you're familiar with a book by Grant Cardone called 10X, Joe Girard 30X'd the rest of the world. So he's definitely someone that you should check in, someone that you should study and really understand what the heck this man did that made him so different from everyone else. It's truly profound yet simple what he did. So Joe did a few things, but his primary function that he did that allowed him to have the 30x success was one primary thing. It was this. He sent a postcard or a thank you card, a card once a month to every person that went inside the dealership he worked at. And just as a heads up, this dealership that Joe worked at was in a small to medium-sized town in the middle of America. It was not in a metro giant city or anything. He literally worked in a location that had nothing special. But what he did is every single person that entered the car dealership, Joe would take their information. He would say, "Thank you so much." And he would write down their first name, last name, not email. This was in the 60s and 70s. Their mailing address and probably their phone number. I don't know about the phone number, but I know he took their name and mailing address. And then what he did is every single month from the next month forever and the next one at Christmas, so it's 13 cards a year, he would send this person a card a month. And all he did, and it would be based on the topic. So January may be Happy New Year, February may be Valentine's Day, etc., etc. And then he would basically thank them for being them and ask for business. And he would typically enclose a card or two. And then what happened is over time, these people really began to become connected to the degree that, feel a connection to him, to the degree that eventually he literally just went in and just did sales all day. And a few things about Joe as well. He never sold fleets. It was always one-to-one. So him to another individual. He never was involved with selling fleet cars to like a big company where you'd sell 20 trucks or something like that. So that was the primary thing. So let me tell you a couple ways that you can introduce this depending where you are in the world. If you're in the world, there is a website called sendingcardsout.com or send cards out. You look it up, you'll see it. And there's several like this. And the reason I bring up send cards out is I'm in Trinidad. Many of the people watching this are in Trinidad as well, or areas outside of the United States. Not everyone's in the U.S. And what they will do is they will mail these cards for you worldwide. So that's kind of part of it. But to start this process, what I would encourage is do what I have done, and I'll tell you a little story about it here in a minute, is every time I have a meeting with someone, I will send them a handwritten thank you card. So what I do is I buy packs of thank you cards from Hallmark, right? So this is a pack of 8, and I will buy batches of 5 or 6 of these. I'll open all up. I'll spend 10, 15 minutes and I'll put return addresses, handwritten return addresses and stamps on all of them. And then they're on the corner of my desk. So they're all within reach. And then, like, here's one I have to mail out. And I'm going to mail this out in the next couple days. But what I will do is I'll put the cards or the business contacts that I need to on top of that. And then roughly once a week, I spend 10 to 15 minutes writing thank you cards. And then I drop them to the post office. In Trinidad, you have to take the post office. I know many parts of the world will come to you. Good for you. But in Trinidad, I have to drop it to the post office. Anyway, so then I take a couple minutes. And once you do a few of these, it becomes easier and easier. I write a quick handwritten thank you card to this person. So this person's name is Warren. So I'm going to write Warren a thank you card. And then it goes in the mail. And what happens is that person will feel a genuine emotional connection to you. Think about it. Ask yourself, when was the last time you got a handwritten letter to you? Think about how emotionally different that would be. Here's an even simpler question. When was the last time you got a birthday card? I'm sure you got a Christmas card, but a birthday card? So most people don't feel important. They don't feel genuinely connected to most of the people in your life. So this is a great opportunity to stand out, to have your company stand out, and have the relationship really show a value. Thank you cards are kind of old school and show a high level of professionalism. That's why I like the thank you card. Something fascinating is, I'll tell you a story. So I originally lived in the United States. I had worked in a financial company, had a business partner, a great guy. And we would have a few meetings that we would go out. And I had a client who I would visit periodically. And I had a meeting with the client like in September. And then I saw this client twice a year. So in roughly the springtime, let's say March, I saw the client again, him and his wife and their family. So I went to the house. And Christmas had happened. And I had seen them during Christmas. And my card was, after I visited, I was close to these people, my card would be up on the fridge, right? And then Christmas happened, and I would hang out at their house at Christmas time. And they'd have a million cards. He was a business owner, and just, you know how many cards you get at Christmas time. So he had a million cards. And then I came in spring, up on the fridge, not thrown away, John's thank you card. And I've had this happen several times. And I asked these people, why are you keeping this there? And they quite simply said, I don't get personal things. It makes me feel genuinely loved and appreciated. And every time I see it, I kind of get this warm, loved feeling inside. And we all need to feel loved and appreciated. And all your clients, past, present, prospective, whatever, all need to feel that as well. But to start off, I would encourage this. So I told you my system. Again, buy them, put a whole batch. And if you have a stamp, by the way, I just bought a stamp. It's coming in. So I can stamp my return address, so one less step. And then do the thank you card. But once you do this, you'll be shocked at the messages you get. Almost every single one that I send out, I get an actual response from. How many times do you make a call or do something? Do you actually get a response? People are genuinely touched. So if you want to build your business, if you want to build a connection with your clientele, I would encourage this. So this is one phase, and this is invaluable. I love doing it, and to be totally honest, that 10 to 15 minutes I do it a week, it's one of my favorite times because I feel such an emotional connection with these people. I'm sure you've heard of the term of attitude of gratitude. It makes me feel very loving and appreciative of these people, and I feel very blessed to be a part of their lives. So I don't view it as just some stupid thank you card. I'm getting it out. I think this gentleman, Warren, when I message Warren and write him this note, I'll think of Warren and I'll feel this guy's a great guy. We had a good conversation, and he'll feel that when he gets it. So you can also say you're doing this for you. So that's another aspect. And then if you want to make the larger investment, you can do where you send these out to new clients, prospectives. And again, you have that service. It's $2, I think, a month. I'm sorry, $2 per card per contact. So it's not very expensive. It's very cost effective. And what this can allow you to do is, as you do it and as your business grows, you can scale with the business. So it's not going to cost you a lot of money, but what it will do is allow you to stay in touch with these people without you having to call them. And then with this card service, all you need to do is basically determine what cards you're sending, and then every, 6 or so months, update the card list, and then get it out to people. That's all you got to do. So invaluable, build a strong connection. It'll make you feel very blessed and give you an attitude of gratitude. So there's many, many positive repercussions. But if you want to be like Joe Girard and have your business be to the level of a Joe Girard, that's what you do. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but at the peak of what he was doing, Joe was sending a month. And I know he had a team. There's no way he could do this himself. Remember, the man works 7 days a week selling 3.5 cars a day. He was sending out 34,000 cards a month, or his team was. So it's easy to see why he was jam-packed, just literally selling cars. So if you sell real estate, if you sell insurance, if you sell anything that you have people that you want to build a genuine connection, and you want to have a business that has 10x, 20x, or 30x levels, it doesn't get much more simple than this, because sales is always about building relationships. So if you need help or have questions, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help you in any way I can. But do this. I'd love to hear your feedback. Even test it out with a few people. You'd be shocked to hear how many people really feel touched by it, and it'll slowly build a habit. But I've kind of played with it, try to make it more systematized, so my little methodology I use may be beneficial to help you. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much.